Good afternoon, folks. And what is it that brings Davy to your screens today? Well, Anna Sawar at First Minister's questions yesterday. I'll put it up, we can have a wee listen. I'll stop at 8 sections and we'll go through the bollocks he's talking. All right. So let's put this up and we'll run it and we'll stop at the important sections to talk about what he's actually saying.
Presiding Officer, the Deputy First Minister is in denial. Nearly 4.5 million bed days lost. Over 2,300 people died while waiting to leave hospital, and £1.1 billion wasted. Shona Robertson promised to end this 8 years ago, long before COVID, and now people are being asked to pay for that failure during a cost of living crisis. 1 in 4 households facing a council tax rise of up to 22%, an increase of £740 a year.
Right, let's stop that there and bust in on this one. So Mr. Sawar just said 1 in 4 households face up to a 22% rise in council tax. That's a flat out lie. There is a consultation going on with the public through the Scottish Parliament at the request of the local government and its representative body COSLA to be able to charge more in bands E, F, G and H because as far as they're concerned, the system at the moment is unfair. But we'll find out why it's unfair when we get to Shona Robertson's reply. Okay, but what Mr. Sawar just said, 1 in 4 council tax payers facing up to a 22% rise is a lie. There is a proposal out to consultation with the local councils, COSLA and the Scottish Government to see what opinions would be on increasing the cost to those in more expensive houses, because proportionally they pay less than those in less expensive houses. But let's say run this on and hear what Shona's going to say to this idiot. But remember, that statement that he just made there, I'll roll it back a wee bit so you can hear it.
The council tax rise of up to 22%, an increase of £740 a year.
So there you heard it. A council tax rise for 1 in 4 households up to 22%. He's a liar. There is no government policy, no local government policy to increase council tax by 22%. There is a consultation, but there is no policy. So let's run on to there.
Year. An income tax rise for people earning as little as £28,000, and now proposing a £15 a day charge to drive to work. Why are working people who've already been hit by the Tory mortgage bombshell being asked to pay the bill for your incompetence and failure?
Deputy First Minister.
Well, on the issue of the NHS, we absolutely remain committed to eradicating delayed discharge, and we work with our partners to do that. But I notice Anna Sawar just moved on then to talking about local government finance and taxes. So let me say this about, first of all, about the council tax multiplier consultation. It is a consultation. It's a consultation based on looking at how we can make the council tax fairer, but also that joint group with COSLA is looking at how we could replace the council tax going forward. But here is one question that consultation asks. Why is it someone in a Band H property pays so much less as a proportion of their property value than someone in a Band A property? As someone in a higher band property, I don't think that's fair. Why does Anna Sawar think that is fair? So we'll get on with the consultation, but it is not credible. It is not credible for Anna Sawar to come here and say no to progressive taxation when it comes to income tax, no to any changes in terms of local taxation, but demands money be spent on public services. That is not a credible position for Anna Sawar to take.
Now, Mr. Sawar's next statement is a confession that he's been lying to the people of Rutherglen and Hamilton West. It would appear that Labour activists are running about Rutherglen and Hamilton West, telling residents that the SNP are going to put their council tax up by 22%. So listen carefully to what he says next, because what he says next is a confession that he's been storming on doors in Rutherglen and Hamilton West, telling people their council tax is going to go up by 22%. So let's run this on so that you can hear a man confessing to being on the doorsteps, lying to the public.
Anna Sawar.
Presiding Officer, you've been in government for 16 years, and that's the best answer you can give. The Deputy First Minister just doesn't get it, so let me give her an example. A family in Cambuslang, the mum's a nurse, dad's a teacher, they've got 2 young kids. Their energy bills skyrocketed, and they're still paying 50% more. That's £2,000. Their food bills are up almost 20%. They've been hit with a mortgage increase of over £2,000 a year, and now the SNP want to make...
Before we go any further here, do you notice he's just read out mortgages that went up, their income taxes went up, very slightly actually, a penny in the pound for those that are richer, and that food prices have went up. 2 out of the 3 of these things we can put straight at the door of Westminster. But here we've got Mr Sawar trying to convince the people of Scotland that the Scottish Parliament is in charge of monetary policy. No, it's not. And the Scottish Parliament doesn't set the Bank of England base rate. Huh? That's an independent Bank of England that does that. But remember, this is all happening in Westminster and through Westminster. The reason why interest rates are so high is because trusts crashed the economy. So let's move on.
Make that worse by asking both mum and dad to pay more income tax, to pay hundreds of pounds more in council tax, and £15 a day to get to the work in Glasgow. This family is being let down by both Tory and SNP incompetence, both making life harder for working people. So why can't the Deputy First Minister see that the people of Scotland are being asked to pay the price for SNP failure?
Actually, most of what you read out there is at the doors of his imperial masters in London. Remember, this guy's a unionist. So the troubles that the people of Scotland are feeling are because we're in this union. And they're created by his imperial masters in London.
Deputy First Minister.
We do know is that Anna Sawar is now getting his orders from Keir Starmer, and that is to not promise anything in terms of progressive taxation and to turn his back on raising additional funds. Because what Anna Sawar should remember is that if we had followed what he seems to be suggesting, the Tory tax policies, we would have £1 billion less for public services in our
Let's hear one another.
That's what Anna Sawar seems to be saying. Let me repeat, there is a consultation on council tax. No decisions have been made in terms of council tax increases, and he should not be saying to the people of Rutherglen or anywhere else that that is the case, because that is to mislead. But let me...
So I think it's incontroversial to say that Mr Sawar has been, and the Labour Party have been directly lying to the people of Hamilton, Rutherglen and Hamilton West, and that includes the people in Cambuslang. Okay, now that to be stated in the Scottish Parliament should be enough to see that man lose his position. Absolutely mental. And no, the presiding officer didn't say he needs to correct his lie. He actually went on with the lie. At that point, the presiding officer should have cut his mic off and tell him, we stick to the truth in this chamber, this isn't Westminster.
Let me say to the nurse and the teacher that Anna Sawar commented upon, we have, of course, made sure that nurses are better paid than elsewhere in these islands by making sure that we pay through a Jennifer change. And teachers, of course, are better paid in Scotland than anywhere else in these islands because we settled with the teachers in terms of their pay claim. So we'll go on with paying public workers what they deserve to be paid and supporting household incomes. Anna Sawar will side with the Tories against progressive taxation. What a place for Labour to end up.
Now, to be fair, the Deputy First Minister gave him a spanking but she's absolutely correct. How did we get to the point where Labour are against progressive taxation? When Labour don't want to see those with the broadest shoulders carry the biggest burden so that we Mrs McGumpher's 3 kids didn't go hungry. How did we get to the point where Labour are demanding more finances be put into public services? Well, not being able to accept that in order to pay for public services, you need progressive taxation. But the reason David's on the day is to make it clear to the people of Rutherglen and Hamilton West and the people of Scotland, the man lied. He blatantly lied in the Scottish Parliament, as pointed out by the Deputy First Minister. I asked him, we can do something about it, we can write to the presiding officer and demand that he comes and apologises, because this consultation might not go anywhere. And remember, in conjunction with this consultation, which was asked for by COSLA and the councils, mainly Tory and Labour councils, this consultation was asked for by the COSLA on behalf of the councils. So Sawar knows fine well, but it's Labour and Tory councillors and Labour and Tory council coalitions who have been asking for the right to be able to raise taxes in bands E, F, G and H in the council tax. We also learned that COSLA themselves have been tasked with finding an alternative to the council tax because the Parliament can't agree. The Parliament's been talking about a replacement for the council tax as Alex Salmond and the first minority a SNP administration. So Mr. Sawar blatantly lied in the chamber. Now, to mislead the Scottish Parliament can see you in court and can see you face up to 2 years in jail. What Mr. Sawar did is libelous. What Mr. Sawar and the Labour Party are doing in the streets of Rutherglen and Hamilton West are misleading the public. Will the mainstream media call them out? No. We also have Labour activists in Rutherglen and Hamilton West running about talking about Keir Starmer going to get them back into the EU. But as we know, he's not going to get back into the EU. They're running about talking about workers, protecting workers' terms and conditions. Well, we've seen what happened to the Deputy Prime Minister when she gave a statement to the Trade Union Congress down that road to do away with unfair, to do away with 0-hour contracts and to protect workers' rights. Mr. Starmer, Sir Kid Starmer, came out a couple of days later and said, no, that's not what we're going to do. So there you have it, folks. The Labour Party lied. Anas Sawar lied in our Parliament. And what can we do about it? We can write to the presiding officer and ask that action be taken against this veto rig and anybody else who lies in that chamber. Anyway, that's the Davy shot for you. I hope you enjoyed it. But pass it around. People need to see, especially people in Rutherglen and Hamilton West, that this guy and his team are running about Rutherglen and Hamilton West lying to the people. There is no planned rise in council tax. There is a consultation on it for a rise in council tax on the more expensive properties. But that consultation was asked for by local authorities who are at the edge of their budgets. Why are they at the edge of the budget? Because the Scottish Government's at the edge of their budget. Why is the Scottish Government at the edge of its budget? Because its budget's controlled in Westminster. And they've been cutting the Scottish budget. So you get Sawar, the unionist, and you've got Dross, the unionist, screaming, more money, more money, more money. And they know quite well that our Parliament is being starved of money by their imperial masters in Westminster. Are you? Yes, yet? Have a nice day.